welcome to my new course, Docker for Dummies. In the beginning of internet and server technology, there was the bare metal server. It was a single computer which hosted a single operating system and on top of that a single web server application. The quest for better use of hardware and resources led to another innovation called as a virtualization. It enabled a single bare metal server computer to host multiple operating systems which worked like separate computers. The technology itself was superb, but the resource and the memory usage was very high. And in want of more refinement and efficient use of resources, recently came the containerization technology. In the containerization technology, a single operating system is divided into multiple little sized containers. They share the common kernel of the host operating system itself. And we are going to learn about this containerization technology in our Docker for Dummies course. The first session of this course is essentially a theory session. We will be discussing about the basics of Docker containerization, monolith and microservices applications, and also the transition that led to the containerization technology and the future of containerization technology. And later we will see how we can install Docker in various platforms. At first, Docker Desktop in Windows 10 Professional Edition and later the Docker Toolbox in Windows Home Edition. And then we will proceed with the steps to download and install Docker Desktop in Mac computers. And finally, we will see how we can install the actual Docker, that is the Docker Community Edition in Ubuntu Linux. And don't worry if you are not having a Linux computer with you, we will also be covering how we can install VirtualBox in your computer, in your Windows or Mac computer, and how we can install an Ubuntu Linux on that VirtualBox. And later we will install Docker inside that Ubuntu Linux computer so that you can learn how it works exactly in the Linux environment. Then we will proceed with the basics of Docker, the difference between Docker images and Docker containers, then searching and pulling an image from the Docker Hub and dealing with downloaded images. Later we will run the images we downloaded using the run command, the Docker run command and its various options. Containers will be created while we run these images that we have already downloaded. And in the next session we will see a recap of the commands that we have already learned and also some alternates to the commands that we have already used. We will also see how we can get more details about running Docker container, managing it, stop and gracefully terminate that container if it's not needed further. Also, we will discuss various options and use case scenarios for Docker run and Docker start commands, which are the important commands that you have to deal with while you deal with a Docker container. We will then see how to create a Docker file. It's a file that contains instructions about the custom procedure that you want to do while creating a Docker container. Using the Docker file, you don't have to repeat all these configuration commands while you create more and more containers. Everything will be saved in the Docker file. Just go ahead and use that Docker file to create more and more containers. We will be also creating a sample container using the Docker file. And after that, we will see yet another important tool called as a Docker Compose tool. This is a very handy option in case you want to deal with multi-container application. A single YAML file, that is a Docker Compose file, will take care of all the containers that are currently running in for that particular application and also the configurations of all the containers that is required by each and every service of that application. In short, we can orchestrate multiple containers using this Docker Compose tool. And as a project, we will be creating a sample web application with two microservices. One is a Python based backend microservice and another PHP microservice which deals with a UI. Then we will see how we can sync together these two microservices and make them work as a single application using this Docker Compose. Overall, this is a perfect course for a beginner who wants to get his feet wet with the containerization technology using Docker. Almost all the technology companies are moving towards containerization from their existing virtualization infrastructure. So learning this technology will take you far ahead of others in the race for learning the latest technologies. We will also be providing you with a course completion certificate so that you can add it later to your portfolio. So let's go ahead with this short and wonderful course. See you soon in the classroom. Have a great time. Bye bye.